Hello ladies and gentlemen, if you're an oddball and looking for a lifestyle off-road, then you've come to the right spot, because this video we are going to compare two of the most iconic and most sought after affordable off-roading SUVs. On this side I had the Maruti Suzuki JIMNY 2023 5-door, and on the other side we have the legendary Mahindra Thar, which has aged like a fine wine and is actually a synonymous for off-roading, in fact for lifestyle off-roading. Alright, but my Jimny is much better than your Mahindra Thar. No. Let's look at the exterior design, guys. This has a headlamp washer. Do you have that? No. Headlamp washer? Why you need that? You have this. Simple. This also has 5 slate grills. Well, Thar has 7 slate grills, and also it looks so much punch. This with halogen lamps. This looks like a proportionate, proper off-roading, like a Bahubali vehicle. It is a no-nonsense car. When you take a Thar out, people will know that somebody strong has come. Yeah, you have 7, but this one has 5 slate grills. This looks very cute, at the same time macho to a certain extent. And if you look at the front, this is no nonsense, okay? It's a very boxy, simple design. This is the 4th generation, and the design hasn't changed because they've taken something from each generation to give you that look. Yes, the tires may be smaller, but this is the best tire you have as a stock, because this really makes it very nimble. You can of course go and get some aftermarket stuff, but this one with this looks its part. This one also has keyless entry. Keyless entry? Seriously? This is an off-roading vehicle. Why do you need such sophisticated tech? This one is rather so much more playful, and it's like a small Swiss knife, you know. If I can use this as a weapon, maybe on the jungle. But do you have this? The Jimny gets the rear shield wiper, and also this got a spare tire completely just like the Thar, and it looks all very compact. Wiper, yes, but Thar gets a split door. You can open the boot in 2 ways for easy accessibility, but Jimny definitely has more boot space comparatively, definitely. But the boot space of Thar, you can keep this. This is the kind of stuff which a Bahubali or a He-Man carries, and pretty much that you can carry. But if you keep these seats fold, then you get a big boot space. That's something that you have to understand, but then you have to throw people out of this, so you have to take a call. So in boot, both of them are like that, but what it has is these tires. These tires look more proportionate. They look at stock condition much better than the Jimny. I would say that if I have to go for my other part and Jimny, I'm going to first thing do is change the tires. Yes, it really does a good job in off-roading, but you know, it's a lifestyle vehicle. It has to look good. It has to look the part. So changing tires would definitely give it a different meaning. Another big problem with Thar, which I have to admit, is the ingress and egress. That's got 5 doors. This has only 2 doors, and to go inside is going to be some task. And once you go inside, even the sitting, I'll show you. Well, this is how you sit in a Thar. There's enough leg room to just about manage to squeeze in your baseball cap or your sword, whatever it is. And the headroom also is not that great. You just sit a little more wider because Jimny is more narrower. So in Jimny you'll be over each other's shoulders, but this will give you a narrower stance. But again, just like Jimny, there's no AC duct at the rear, and uncomfortable situations sitting. Ingress egress is very difficult. All that in Jimny is little more placed, but hey, it's an off-roading vehicle. I'd rather like to sit there. It takes 2 stages to open completely, as you can see. You also have a 12-volt socket here to plug in your tire inflators or small fridges. And you can see the details, even these colors, the lock have been colored to match the color outside. This is what you call detail thinking. Over to you, Thar. The first thing you will notice when you sit in a Thar is that you have a very commanding view of everything around you. You see both sides of the bonnet. You see the same in Jimny. You also have a good view of this, but you feel more powerful in Thar. I can't explain that, but this is how you feel. It's also a more powerful engine. This one is a 2-liter 4-cylinder, churning out 150 brake horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. 2 liter is the important thing, but this also weighs 750 kgs. Jimny weighs lesser. It weighs about 1205 kgs, and that makes all the difference, because though Jimny is 1.5 liter, it really negates because of the power to weight ratio. Now, how can I be taking side of the Jimny? But what is good is good. You have to give for that. Now, Jimny has 103 brake horsepower and 143 Nm of torque. Now, these power figures are not something which will with the earth shattering, but when you put this on a machine which weighs about 1205 kgs, things change, because this is a very lighter machine. So this makes the whole car very agile. When I'm driving on the road, it's just like flying, and there's no sense of lacking in power. You don't need it. It's like it will do its job. Yes, if there is a 2-liter engine, this might just catapult it to something else. But frankly, you're good with this. This also makes it fuel efficient, though we'll test it when you get for long term. The driving mannerism of the Thar petrol feels more refined than the Thar diesel, but it doesn't feel the same when you compare that with Jimny. I have to give it for that with Jimny. Jimny feels more pliant on the tarmac. Now, because of it being taller and wider, also because of it having a higher ground clearance, the body roll is visibly felt much higher in Thar. There's always a wobbly feeling when you drive in a Thar, and even in the tarmac you'll feel the same. With Jimny, it's better on road. The water weighting capacity of Thar is much better. The approach, departure, all of that, some Jimny has higher, some Thar is higher. That my counterpart must be talking about it right now as we speak. Now, you've seen the capabilities of Jimny. I will give you a snapshot of what it's capable of doing. It has a departure angle of 50 degrees, which is better than the Thar. Breakover angle is almost the same. This gets about 24 degrees, and the approach angle is 36 degrees, whereas the Thar gets an approach angle of 42 degrees, which is better, but at the same time the departure angle in Thar is only 36 degrees, whereas the breakover angle in Thar is 26.5 degrees. So overall it's a mixed bag. Here it's kind of confusing, but I've driven it. This part has also driven the Thar. I have to say, the Thar is an off-road beast. It's totally, you feel more confident in Thar no matter what you say. My other part must be smiling right now, but I have to hear him what he has to say. The NVH levels in Jimny is much better than the Thar. Thar has sound insulation wise, it's not the best. There's a lot of sound which seeps into your cabin, but the sound quality of the speakers is much louder in Thar. It's not the melodious. The speakers are not great in either of the cars. That's not what it's meant for, but it's sounding more. So you can have if you want to hear noise, you can do that in this. Now, having said that, the MID instrument cluster in Jimny is better looking. It's more updated. It's today's time. Both of them don't have a C-type charging, so that defeats the tech purpose of it. Both of them have a grab handle for the co-passenger, which is very important, because when you're flying either of them, you will need that for the co-passenger. Now, the interiors and the cabin space doesn't look very premium. It looks very purposeful because it's meant for like that. But when it comes to driving on an off-road tarmac, for that I think both the Thar and Jimny, this black interior really makes it worthwhile, because it won't catch up dust as easily as maybe a beige or a other good-looking cabin space would do. Now, you see, Jimny gets a very nice interiors. It has a very nice MID, no nonsense. This is what we get in Maruti. It has an Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay, works very seamlessly. The sound speakers are not the best even in Mahindra Thar. It gets very good navigation. The screen resolution is good. This makes any road its highway. Well, it's a bold statement, but I would agree to a certain extent. Jimny gets steering dampers, and the steering is quite chunky to hold. It gives you a feeling of sitting behind a very powerful machine. From the outside, it might look like not a very tall or very butch kind of a machine, but from the inside, you feel good. It's a good driving height. You see both the sides of the bonnet, which I said earlier. Also, that turning radius is very small. It's a very nimble car, and because with narrow frame, it really passes through a lot of by lanes very easily, especially in this mountain twist. It is showing its character. Now, its size is a double-edged sword. It's both an advantage and a disadvantage. Because of its narrow frame, it's very easy to turn it around. Also because narrow frame, people sitting here, bigger, would be touching shoulders with me. When you are reversing, the steering also hardens up, so you don't get that very easy feeling. You have to really flex your biceps when you're doing that. That's something which you have to get used to that. Apart from that, driving wise, no complaints. It pulls along very well, and everything goes very, very smoothly. Interestingly, both the Thar and the Jimny have a turning radius of 5.7 meters, which means that both of them will turn the same way. But Jimny is more narrower, so some advantage it will have, but not that great. Now, also that when it comes to fuel capacity, Thar has a much bigger fuel tank, which means once you fill up, you can go higher, but it gives you a very bad mileage. So Jimny again offsets that. So it's very situation where both of them have an edge over each other. Now it all comes to the personal perspectives of what you like, what you don't like, what's your purpose going to be. Both of them in my space is a car that it's a good lifestyle off-roading. Jimny, I think, is more car-like. You can drive on the roads more comfortably. Though Thar also can do the same. I'm driving right on a city. It doesn't feel that bad or that, it doesn't really make so much of environment so bad that you can't really have a good drive. It's not that. But Jimny just has an edge over that. Now Jimny gets a 1.5 litre K15B petrol engine with a 4-speed automatic torque converter and a 5-speed manual gearbox. It also gets a low-range gear transfer, and it's an old engine, agreed, but it's a very fuel-efficient engine. Unlike the Thar has options. Thar has a diesel engine. A diesel in Jimny would have been good, but in terms of driving, I don't see a sense of lag. It drives and pulls along very well. So if you're thinking that this is an underpowered car, let me tell you it's not. Now, on road, off road, both the elements, Jimny does a good job. I think on the tarmac, my other side will not agree with me, but on the tarmac, Jimny does drive better because the NVH levels are low. I can imagine myself going for long drives on the highway. I don't see myself doing that in a Mahindra Thar because after a point, Thar feels good in a jungle. Thar feels it's a lifestyle vehicle, but it's not really meant for going 24-hour drive. Jimny, maybe you can do that. And what is impressive in Jimny is that it gets 6 airbags, and also because Maruti now wants to push the safety part, the rear seat, when you hop in, no matter if somebody is sitting or not, it will make 90 seconds beep noise so that anybody who's there gets the seat belt on. That's sometimes frustrating, but it's not frustrating. It's very important, and we have to take the rear seat belts very seriously. So Maruti Suzuki is doing its bit for everybody. Driving, design, etc., everything. It's time to summarize and conclude. It's going to be very difficult. Jimny, with this new price point, I don't expect it to move that number. I think they have purposely kept it like that so that they can meet the demand. But in future, when the 5-door Thar comes, and when they drop that at a good price point, that changes the whole equation. So we'll have to wait and watch for that. Anyways, my suggestion would be to book the Thar right now. You will take 1 year, and by next year, Thar 5-door would come. You can always cancel and pick that one. But if you want something immediate, then maybe Jimny could be a good choice for you. What he'll be talking about Jimny? Anyways, Thar is a more complete car. Yes, I have concluded, whether my split personality agrees with me or not, this is a more complete vehicle because it looks more proportionate for the purpose it's meant for. It's a lifestyle off-roader. If you are expecting this to drive on the tarmac and go from Bombay to Jaipur, that's not happening. You can't do that in this. In Jimny, also you can't do for that longer stretch because of it being narrower. This is more broader, but it has its own disadvantages. Jimny has 5 doors, this has 2 doors, but Thar is already working on the 5-door and they will drop that in the first quarter 2024. That will change the dynamics, but that will increase the pricing. When it comes to pricing, this one, the Thar automatic 4x4 petrol, it costs around 16 lakhs, which is about a lakh expensive than the top end Jimny. Jimny starts from 14 lakhs, goes up to 15 lakhs. And that 1 lakh difference, but there's a waiting period of this for 3-4 months. Jimny with this pricing now won't be selling as hotcakes as you would have expected. It will have buyers, but not that much. And now when you talk about Thar in totality, this is a proven model. This has been there for ages and it's tasted the Indian roots. It knows its terrains very well. Jimny has to still prove its point, though it has its heritage from Gypsy. So it's actually very, very difficult to conclude which one to go for. In my opinion, I'll actually agree to my personality that Jimny is also a good vehicle. It also has a lot of plus for it, and Thar also has a lot of plus for it. You have to really, end of the day, see what really appeals to you. If you're going to drive more on the tarmac, I think Jimny is more suited. But then, if you drive with 4 people, then it won't serve the purpose because of it being narrower. But with Thar, if you're going to jungle, if you're going to off-roading, and if you're 2 people going to office every day, it's a vehicle, it's a lifestyle, no doubt about it. Till today, after 2 years, when you see a Thar on the road, you know, you give a look, you give a second look. And well, a Thar has one thing which Jimny does not have, and which really changes the equation. It has a diesel engine. Yes, this one, the M-Hawk diesel 4x4. It also has a manual in that, which is a very good selling. Now with diesel, again, it changes the equation. But Jimny will give you better fuel efficiency, 15-16. Thar petrol would give you a very bad fuel efficiency of 5-6, because we have tested that. I know it doesn't go more than that, but it's a 2-liter engine. That's 1.5-liter engine. That's a lighter weight, so that negates the part. But still, somehow my heart goes to Thar, and if I have to go for Thar, I'll rather settle for a diesel engine. Okay, all right, whatever. Well, both of us just heard my other self talking about Mahindra Thar. Frankly, a lot of things are going for Mahindra Thar, but Jimny is no less. I'll start my case from here, this narrow stretch, and only a Jimny can get here. Mahindra Thar with this fat belly, I doubt if we can make it. Now, it's a serious conclusion, and Jimny has a lot of things going for it. First, to start with, the weight. This is a double-edged sword. It's 1200 kgs, which means it's lighter, which also means that it doesn't require a powerful engine like a Mahindra Thar. A 1.5-liter, a 10-year-old engine, a 10-year speed box also does a job equally good. What ain't broken, don't fix it. That's the adage. And maybe the engine and the gearbox is old, but it's tried and tested. What else is going for it? I mean, if you ask me honestly, except the width could have been bigger, which would have given more room inside the cabin, because right now for 2 oversized people it would be a little tough ask. They'll be brushing their shoulders. Apart from that, this has everything going for it. This might be a proposition. If you look at it from a size perspective, you might find it a little narrow, a little cute. It's not a Bahubali type Mahindra Thar, but it's also got a very nice tarmac feeling. You can really take it on the road, drive it on the road, drive it equally agile on an off-roading chart. This is like that Alto which you see in all the mountains, and this is a good-looking car. So if you go, you'll be seen, you'll be appreciated. And if you put all the kits and accessories, this might give it that size which is missing, because only thing which I personally don't like about the Jimny is the size. Also, the music system is not too loud, but hey, you're going to take this, go for off-roading, enjoy the nature. So that's not something that you're going to really take it for. The cup holders are a little way off the mark. Yeah, you have to always stretch band. Initially, I didn't even know that there's a cup holder. Now, all these things are not really a deal breaker. What is a deal breaker is that this Jimny is quite a capable SUV. If you compare this with Mahindra Thar, I don't think you will find too many faults. Design, size, all these are perspective, all these are personal opinions. That I leave it to you. But whatever said and done, this already has 30,000 bookings, and by the time this video comes out, I don't know how many more bookings will happen, how much wait time is required. So you like it or not, Jimny is going to sell as much as the Mahindra Thar. In short, there are 2 lifestyle off-roading vehicles at an affordable price, and that's something which we have to celebrate. And on that note, drop on your comments, which one do you think I will go in this narrow stretch, meet my other part and celebrate the lifestyle off-roading vehicles.